Hey YouTube, Joel from Two Brothers Tactical. Today we're going to go over my most requested video to date, and that's going to be on making jerky. So we're going to go over a couple things, some of the stuff you're going to need, and this process goes for any type of jerky that you're going to be making. Whether it's venison, beef, goose, bison, elk, doesn't make a difference, same process. Today we're going to be doing whole muscle meat instead of ground meat. Ground meat is pretty much the same process, just different tools. You need, something like a jerky gun to make the strips and things like that. But I have a slicer from Cabela's here. If you don't have a slicer, you can either slice it thin yourself by hand, or I'm sure your butcher would be more than willing to slice it for you. A dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, there is a second way to do it, and that's going to be in the oven. We'll get into a little bit more specifics when we put it in the dehydrator if you don't have one, what you could do with your oven. You're going to need your curing salt if you're going to be making your own seasoning. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I actually find that things like this High Mountain Jerky Cure from Cabela's works very well. Tastes very good. They have a lot of different brands. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the seasoning, it comes with the curing salt. Everything is in the package, shakers, everything. So very good product to use here. So with that being said, we're going to get started here, and we'll get some of this meat sliced up, and we'll talk a little bit more as we go further on. Okay, so we have this sliced up. This is beef. I used a top round roast. I like to slice it about 1/8 of an inch thin. And what we're going to do from here is I already have my seasonings mixed with my curing salt. I just got to shake them up. They're already measured out. You're also going to need a Ziploc bag. And a bowl also helps in this, because you'll see in a moment, once you get your seasonings shook up with your salt. Now, what you want to do with this is just get a nice even coat on every piece as best as you can. It's all going to get mixed together anyway. And guys, this isn't a short process. It is rather time consuming, much like making sausage. It is an entire day of work, but it's a good work. Okay, so we have all our seasoning and curing salt mixed in with the meat. The next step is rather simple. It's going to go in a Ziploc bag. We're going to roll it up nice and tight, get all the air out, and that's going to sit in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours. 24 hours is recommended. The meat is going to change color, as you can see. That's from the curing salts, so the meat doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's actually curing the meat. That's normal. So let's get it in the Ziploc bag. We'll have to get the air squeezed out, and in the refrigerator it will go. In the fridge. Alright guys, so this meat's been in the fridge for about 20 hours or so. We're going to take it out and we're going to get it in the dehydrator. What you want to do is you want to lay it on these trays nice and flat. I'm going to try and avoid having anything overlapping, or you could leave a little bit of space in between them. Depends on how big of a dehydrator you have, how much you can get in. This is a typically small batch for me. Usually do a lot more than that, but for the sake of this video, small batches are good. Alright guys, so we have our dehydrator loaded up, so let's get that on here and fire it up. In a dehydrator, normally I will do this at about 130 to 140 for 12 to 14 hours. That's usually pretty close. So let's go ahead and set this. We'll start with 12. I'm going to bring this up to about 135 degrees. And we are good to go on that end. Now, if you guys don't have a dehydrator, the other way you could go about this is you have to get some square cut cookie sheets. You can see that. And you do the same thing you did on the trays, lay it nice and flat. Then you get your oven, and you set your oven to the lowest setting you can go, 150, 160, most ovens will go to. It's perfect. You get a wooden spoon, open up, when you're at your temperature, put the jerky in, put the wooden spoon in the door, and close it down just like that so the door is cracked. Let that go. It's going to go a little bit quicker. It's not going to be the 12 or 14 hours. Usually I find the oven, it's anywhere between 8 and 10 at 160, but it comes out just as good, and that makes it so that everybody can do this at home. So we'll see you guys in about 12 or 13 hours when these are done and get you a final look at what it looks like. Okay guys, so we're finally back here at the last stage of this process. The dehydrator is dehydrated and I've checked it and we're good to go. So the first thing you guys want to do when this comes out of dehydrator or out of the oven is you're going to want to just pat it down and get some of the grease off. And what I like to look for, how I know when it's ready, is if when you crack it or try and bend it and see how it all turns white, all the fibers start to pull apart and it has a nice good tear to it. That's perfect for me. If you guys want it a little bit drier, by all means, leave it in longer, it dries out more. But that's how I like my jerky. It's great, has a real good tug to it, a little bit of chewiness. That's jerky making as simple as it can get, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and share it, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.